Alright. Start up Katawa Shoujo. Stop calling me senpai. There we go. Yeah, see the second act pictures there. Cool. Let me just post a link. Yeah. Oh shit. That freak-coon ass and thick legs, that's damn straight. Total homo, though. Alright, let's load up. Alright, so last time we got into a bit of like a sensual thing with Emmy, and I'm starting to think like, how is this gonna go? Am I just gonna have to go through like each girl and then pick one? Kind of hoping to be a little bit more, different than that, but I don't know. A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day keep intruding upon my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me, the memory of our wrestling match, and most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. She was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it must be like for her to wake up with nobody there. The shower shocks me awake with hot water. Awake, but still worried. What will happen today? Will things just go back to normal? And the episode back to the status quo? There was a connection yesterday, something that nearly pushed us past the boundaries of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes back to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seemed like she was daring me to go on. Almost. But I can't know for sure. Anyway, the track captain's probably first in her affections. Even as I say that, my mind is already stirring derisively. I'm just looking for an excuse, a reason for everything to go wrong. Reason to not try. It's not as if I've even seen the two of them together outside of track practice. Elf practice. You're late to elf practice. And clearly he's never visited. Emmy said as much herself. If they're close, surely he'd visit. I'm such a wuss. I'd just go for it anyway. Damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she'd do. Which is partially why I'm convinced there's no interest on her end. She hasn't acted either. Maybe because of this track captain. It's possible she got a bit of an unrecorded crush thing going on. Who would be able to clarify the relationship? Sure so can't be Emmy. She'd probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. And I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin would probably just give me some cryptic answer or something. And with my luck, she'd just ask Emmy, who would ask me why I wanted to know. And I've already covered that problem. I wonder. Could I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy. I'm sure he'd know if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know he forgot to tell me about her being ill. So he'll keep quiet. What if he asks me why I want to know? I can shake him off, just say I'm curious as a friend. He'll bear that, won't he? No. Of course. That's so then. Oh, so you dumb. After the run, I'll talk to him while Emmy's waiting outside the office. Might not be that easy, dude. There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the check. Is she still too ill? I decided to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early, and she was ill yesterday, so if she takes a while to show up, it wouldn't be surprising. It shouldn't be surprising. So I'd hate to just waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if... You're early again, Hisao. Made it. So I find it difficult to believe that she got over a fever in a day. The one time I had a fever, I was pretty sick for like at least a few days. I'm impressed. Just like that, I feel some of the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she even was ill the other day, much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask. Sleep well last night? It's just a throwaway question, small talk. Sort of thing people ask someone they bump into in the cafe while getting their morning coffee. But not for us. At least, not for me. I don't know if Amy realizes I'm actually concerned about how well she slept last night. The question does give her pause. After a short moment of what seems like her genuinely pondering this, she nods. Yep, sure did. Was it because of me? Did it actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up. So, ready to begin? Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready. This fucking dude's gonna wreck your shit. Maybe that's at my bravado, and we take off running. Keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy's positively beaming after the run today. Nice job, Sal. You're improving. You'll be half as fast as me in no time. Half as fast. I need prosthetic legs. This last line is delivered with a teasing grin that I've grown all too used to. Oh, how exciting. Emmy begins to run her sprints while I take a cool-down lap. She's really pushing herself today. Didn't she say she would? By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers, looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are we? Are you? You did just have a cold, you'll recall. That was a fever. Emmy gives an annoyed snort and sits up. But I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, you know? Everyone always gets the kinks out, you know? You know? Clears mine too, you know? Oh, you know? Emmy nods vigorously. Yep, it's great. It's a great outlet for that sort of thing. She does not explain further, and I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason she went so hard today. Being sick had nothing to do with it. Something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare, maybe something else. But it's not my place to pry. She told me she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy. You have no idea. The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicion. The only problem is, even though I know she'd tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind then? Amy doesn't seem surprised by the question. Instead, she shrugs. Nah, it's nothing worth getting worried about. She seems as if she's trying to convince herself as much as she's convincing me. I'm about to ask if yesterday is responsible for her current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much risk of her taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure what to think about yesterday. Really, I can only get about as far as how it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me now, covered in sweat and looking wryly at me. She's making it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear you. You better hurry to see the nurse. We're running short on time. Aren't we always? Emmy laughed at this, a dry chuckle that seems almost un-Emmy-like. Too true. For a brief moment, she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straightening up slightly. And then she's back to being Emmy again. Come on then, Hisao. Race ya. Fuck. Sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair. I take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. It's like a double meaning in that sentence, you see? You see? Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. Well, well, look who's finally shown up. Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins as nurse pokes his head out of the door. Well, there you are. Come on in, Hisao. What becomes a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure and my heart rate. A bit fast today, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of raced Emmy here. The nurse laughs. That's never a good idea. He leans in the mystery in a conspiratory manner. I don't know if you heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star. I reel back in mock surprise. Really? She never mentioned it before. The two of us share a laugh. Did she do okay today? Cold seemed to bother her? Why don't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation. Of course I'm going to ask her too, but she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you, because you're her friend, and would probably tell me if she had trouble today. When it puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seems pretty good today, if a little more tired than usual. She was already feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. The nurse nods, though I notice he tenses slightly when I mention yesterday's visit. Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was just a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like. I thought it was a fever. Hey, speaking of Emmy, was she in the track captain? Well, you know. I look at suspicion across his face. Why do you ask? He knows. He knows. He's an adult. He fucking knows. How'd that be easy to hide? Well, it's just that it seemed kind of close, and I was just curious, you know? I never asked her because that would be kind of embarrassing. So far so good. Now I'd really sell it. Besides, I think they make a cute couple. Nurse laughs. Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that two of them will never do anything like that. Certainty? Yep. He's gay. Not that I could tell you, of course, confidentially and all that. Yeah, right. You just like holding a secret over my head. That too. Right, get out of here, I'm a busy man, you know. I don't mind his last statement head out the door, motioning to Emmy to go in. The whole time I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. Two of them will never do anything like that. That's precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I have to make some sort of move on Emmy right now, but I think the nurse would probably disapprove. Besides, I still don't know exactly how Emmy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares about me as a friend, but something more than that. Something more than that? I can't be certain. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Emmy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day at least. The rooftop is completely deserted. Normally I could count on Rin to be up here before me, but she's strangely absent. Wonder if she decided to accompany Emmy to the cafeteria for once. That seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Rin, but a far larger part of me is too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. I pick idly up my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Rin to show up. It does not take long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough. It's not her. The two of you are... Huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the door is Emmy, who looks mildly confused. What do you mean, huh? It's me, you know, Emmy. We run in the mornings? She grins, and I feel my heart jump slightly in my chest at the sight. Yes, I knew that. I'm just confused. Where's Rin? Emmy's going to replace my rather guilty-looking expression. Yeah, about that. I kind of, sort of... Give her my cold. Oh dear. Am I at risk too? It would make sense after all. Amy and I were in close contact the other day. What did she and Rin do as I caught her ill? Fucking made out. Steady on, old lad. Don't go down that road. Rin just probably got a worse immune system than me. And you're probably making the fuck out. Boy. They're probably making out. Amy seems shocked by my comment, like she hadn't considered that before. I hope not. I'll feel terrible if you get ill because of me, Sal. Oh man, I think I feel fever coming on. Amy looks horrified and quickly shifts into a more angry expression. Hey, Sal! You stop getting sick this instant! She's gonna do the puppy dog face. I won't have it. Mostly she sees me by my collar. Are you listening to me, Sal's immune system? Get your ass in gear. I give a smart salute. Duly noted, ma'am. Amy sits back and nods, satisfied. Good. You're not allowed to miss any of our morning runs, after all. But you missed a morning run. Amy crosses her arms and looks at me haughtily. Yes, but that's a special case. It was me, not you. That's not an explanation at all. Amy looks flabbergasted. You're kidding, right? Explanation makes perfect sense. No, it's a blatant double standard. I didn't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fine. Amy seems pleased by her victory. Anyway, is Rin going to be okay? She's not terribly ill, is she? Would you say Emmy's... Oh, is Emmy your second best girl? Emmy shakes her head. Nope, she'll be fine. I got her some cold medicine that should help her. Although I probably should have made sure she didn't try to take them all at once. She done it before, you know. Somehow I don't find all this all that surprising. I doubt Rin would want to pay attention to maximum dosages and such. Should probably check in on her later then, just to make sure. Emmy shrugs. I'll stop by after practice. She'll be fine until then. I nod, figuring that line of conversation is over. The problem is, I don't know what else to talk about. Dude, ask her out. So, you got any more track meets coming up? This is a terribly roundabout way of trying to see if she's free on the weekend. If she's free, then maybe I can ask her on a date or something. Well, assuming I can get myself to actually form the words. Emmy shakes her head. Nah, not for another couple weeks, I think. The season's winding down. Oh yeah, I came right in the middle of things, didn't I? Does that mean exams are coming up soon? I should probably look into that. What do you do on the weekends if there's not a meet? My eyebrow goes up, and Amy gets a teasing look on her face. You're awfully inquisitive today, aren't you? I shrug and hope it looks casual. Just making conversation. I don't know what it's like to be a track star after all. Pfft, flattery. She raised a hand idly. I'm not actually that good, you know. You just so happen to see me on a good day's all. You liar. Heh, yeah. But humility is a sign of a good athlete. At least that's what my dad used to say. She shrugs and tries unsuccessfully to hide her rather troubled expression. Rather troubled expression her face has taken on. Hey, what's up? You seem bothered by something. Emmy starts to deny it, then sighs in defeat. I wonder if she's too tired from being sick to hear herself to deny it like usual. Or if she actually just trusts me enough to, at this point, to open up. Well, you remember last night? Do I ever? I settle for nodding, however. It's not the first time that's happened to me. Actually, I get them kind of... She pauses as if it's suddenly occurred to her what she's doing. It's almost like she's breaking some sort of personal rule here. But she starts up again, choosing her words carefully. Well, not often, but on occasion. It's just been one of those weeks where that's what happens. A sigh escapes her and she looks terribly frustrated. I reach over and give her a hug, which unlike last time doesn't seem to shock her. Such seems to relax as my arms wrap around her. We stay that way for a while. Hey, you know I was serious last night. You really can't talk to me if stuff like this is bothering you. It's always difficult to do this sort of thing solo, you know? Annie smiles and breaks the embrace, but stays leaning on my shoulder. Thanks, Asao. I'll be fine, I think. I can see her reassembling herself, getting ready to ball it all up again. Guess that topic's closed now. So, wait, give any more thought to that career survey? Can't say I have. I don't tend to plan very far ahead, you know? Although I suppose I could at least start looking into college, huh? I shrug. I suppose unless you're serious about that pirate thing. Last I checked, pirates didn't have much need for universities. Unless there's like a pirate university out there somewhere. Amazing dialogue, amazing. The best. Emmy giggles and starts to look a little like her old self, but there's a new element to her expression. Impish. That's how I describe it. Emmy looks impish, looking up at me with her head nestled in my shoulder. Sorry. Would you come with me if I ran off to be a pirate? Of course I would. Who in their right mind would pass up the opportunity to be pirates with you? Well, when you put it that way, I'm not sure. She giggles again. I notice my heart seems to sped up. It's probably due to Emmy's proximity to me. A hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy again. You are a pirate. You're har fiddly-dee. Hey, Hisao. If you're going to kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell's about to ring. My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. Pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can just jingle, huh? This amuses Emmy even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face level with mine. I probably enjoy it, you know? You're really... Well... She really composes herself. Looks like she's about to say something important. If you hadn't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. We're in it, boys. I'm gonna have to do something about that. This time her grin short circuits several important... Oh, there it is! There it is! Oh my god! Short circuits several important thought processes. At some point I turned toward her, and at another point her arms moved to around my neck. At yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. Oh, it's gonna be fucking interrupted, isn't it? I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened. Because at that moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emmy's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday in bed, it's there again. It suddenly strikes me that she's worried that I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Oh, no, it happens. We in it, boys. We in it. We in it. We in it. Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. If only that was really the case. She leans into the kiss, and her arms tighten around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there is any danger of that. There's a turning feeling in my gut. The world falls away. There's just me and her and this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, sliding into them DMs, you know? Like, hey, what's up? I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. The ringing of the bell snaps us both back to reality, and we break the kiss. Shit! Emmy's cheeks are slightly flushed, but she seems to be catching her breath. In her defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments, trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emmy is the first to break the silence. So, want to grab dinner after I'm done with practice? What a coincidence! I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose there was going to be some kind of proper date on the weekend or something, but the thought was there, I think. Emmy gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You're still in shock from how incredibly awesome I am at kissing. We begin to head down the stairs back to our respective classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice, Asao. She leans in quickly and gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. As I head into my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me. Well, hey Chan, you romantic you. Did you confess on the rooftop? Did you? Or actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends me into a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. I guess. Before I can respond, Muto's entered the room and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I expect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversation now, especially seeing as how Emmy kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that, because I got that sweet, sweet thickness. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. Oh, what? Okay, yeah, I'm very confused. So, in what way would I be switching off towards other girls? Like, if I were to keep quiet, when I wanted to, when I asked her, like, can I go running with her on the raining day, was it like, would that have gotten me more towards Rin's side? I don't know, like, what this game's doing. I'll be right back. We're back. So yeah, I'm just kind of confused with how this game works. Because I thought like if okay, maybe it was like each act would be like a girl, and then at the end we have to pick, or like it's hard for me to believe a free game would actually go that much in depth where at even the very beginning each act would be different depending on the girl. Most of my things are going towards, you know? My head's in a spin all through Muto's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emmy, who wants to be my girlfriend no less. A date. And then she kissed me. I think my cat's trying to push against the door. No cat. I don't know. That kiss, I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind just off, lost in thoughts of Emmy. Like, hi, hello? Seems I've drifted off a bit too far. Huh? What? Egad, you can try some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse! The class chuckles at Muto's antics. Sorry, sir. Why up again and all that, right? Might be like all different endings and then they all converge and you pick. Exactly. Muto brightens considerably. Yeah, look at that considerable brighten. You see that, guys? Well, lovely to hear. I hate to have my star pupil slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. Wouldn't that more be Shizune? Very certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. Dude, memorizing formulas can be so hard. Especially for me. To another word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Guy, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Muto looks genuinely confused for a moment. I beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that. No, you're not in any sort of trouble. This is a question I want to ask you. Are you smashing that? What's that? Nothing, therefore, I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess I can't really see a reason not to go. Give me a thought to what you study. Not really, no. Figure I'll just come up with something when I get there. Need a laughs. Taking things as they come, huh? I mean, I'd argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into science, just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Muto trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are. Yes? Sounds like me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that yes. Here is where we are. E equals mc squared. Yeah, well, shut up. Shut up, Death. Somehow I get the feeling that Muto had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. With our friends, I'm resolute, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers as if he's remembered what the point of all this was. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Muto makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. Sure. You're saying I should study science at university? Muto seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. Then what are you talking about, Muto? You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. He could even be the charter member, a founding father. Of course, you'd need to find out the members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with the two of us. And, I could give you things to read, and we could talk about them. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Minus one, that's 3 quick mess. Or, and I can give you, yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4. Minus one, that's 3 quick mess. Or, and I can help you get ready for university and such as well. Wait. Winter rummage around his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A Brief History of Time? I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Mundo seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Brief history of time. Time, space, space-time, black holes and such. And it's not that dense. Just to see if that sort of thing's interesting for you, you understand. Hang around after class and we can either discuss it or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nakai. I think you'd enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. Oh god. I hate the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite no time to kill until Emmy's out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. Should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorm. I wonder what Emmy's whole story is going to be about. Maybe about her trying to deal with grief. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I can just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medication once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. I wake with a start. Shit, what time is it? I glance at the clock, realize that I've been asleep for nearly an hour. Thank goodness. I expect I should be finishing up soon. I throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. It doesn't strike me as a fancy, very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Emmy. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Oh, there's kids outside. Oh, well, I have lots of time to fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts, I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Emmy is nowhere to be found. I haven't even seen any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn to head towards the girl, telling me when I hear a shout. Hey, Hisao! Ooh. She looks pretty cute. I turn to see Emmy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic-looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Emmy doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. But how are them thighs, though? How's her thick? Hey, you came! I mean, I figured you would, but still. I suddenly find myself wrapping a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Well, of course I came. It'd be crazy not to, right? And he ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. Self-confident. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emmy by surprise. She also smiles at me warmly before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emmy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. I should compliment you more often. Emmy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emmy's shoulder and pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway? 3 kisses before the first date? Is that it? That's a damned good question. I've got no idea. I'll just head down to the Oromar and grab something portable. Emmy's face brightens at this idea. A picnic! I think you're onto something, Hisao. Emmy snakes her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I'm meant to do in this situation, but at least Emmy seems to be equally clueless. I don't know if that's a good thing, but, you know, hey. Live and learn, I guess. Despite the relaxed feeling of being with Emmy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I hate to make an ass out of myself. Oh, it's a 7-Eleven. Oh, I'm sorry, it's an Auramart. The trip to Auramart is accompanied by Emmy's chatter about how practice went. Keep quiet for the most part, really enjoying the wharf being around Emmy. We get a few odd looks from passerby, but I don't mind. What, you can't deal with my girl's greatest good legs? She's got metal legs, dude. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot... FMA style egg? Yeah, probably. Realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Oh, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. We'll just eat some bread. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emmy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath the tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emmy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something soon, huh? Emmy shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Emmy tosses me a package of bread, and we dig into that sweet-ass bread. Great for a first date. Curry bread. Interesting. Guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey, so you look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red. It's exactly the lack of spice has gotten my blood up. Because of disappointment. Emmy laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Wow, she just scarfed that down. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. So macho, so... The mark of a true man is one that can hold in his curry bread. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm going to give you mine. I made mock pouts because causing me to nearly choke on the bread with laughter. Oh, come on, Hisao. Are you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We're dating, you know. Though, I'm looks troubled all of a sudden. I can't say I feel any different. Isn't that a good thing? What do you mean by that? What makes us a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. But does she feel different because we had... Before, when we had lunch, we were friends, and now we're a level above friends. You sound like Rin. Laughter escapes and Emmy grins. Well, she might have put the thought into my mind. We've talked about that sort of thing before. Really? About me? Not really, just... stuff. Rin thinks that the change of a label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like, there's no difference between the two. I mean... Technically, there shouldn't be. Like... A relationship, like, even a romantic relationship, should just be, like, it's two friends who really like each other. So it shouldn't feel any much different, except now that there's kissing and a little more focus. It shouldn't feel that much different. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For the second time today, Emmy blushes slightly and giggles. I suppose you're right. Exactly, I'm always right about things like this. Emmy rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Muto thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Emmy raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking I actually might just do that. Really, the more I consider it, the more it appeals to me. I convince him to look into it a little more closely. So what are you thinking of doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Emmy shrugs, seeming also a bit hesitant. I don't know. If I'm good enough, I can find a team, I guess? You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Yeah, that seems like her. Really? You probably should, you know? Graduation isn't that far off. Maybe fidgets a little nervously. Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about. There's a mischief flash behind Emmy's eyes and suddenly find myself closely pinned against a tree. Like making sure this is a real date, right? Time to fuck! Oh, it's just a kiss. If we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right? I suppose... Strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emmy sits back on my legs and grins again. There, science would approve, right? I have the oddest mental image of me to nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. that's good. Can't help laughing at the idea. Well, I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss being met with laughter. Should I feel offended? No. I'm sure science approves. Emi beams at me, and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly. Oh, good! At this point, I noticed that Emi has stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teacher wielding clipboards. Hey! Emi tries to look innocent, but considers she just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it doesn't appear to be working. Thief! A shrug from my crane is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that the point needs to be made. Amy seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought. Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles don't involve laughing. Guess I can't argue with this. It's a feminist conspiracy, I swear. This doesn't change your thievery. He laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove. Fine, you can have the instant noodles. Eating that stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. Another laugh from the girl sitting on my legs. Both of which have fallen asleep by now. Just wanting to try waking up, which has the unintended effect of unbalancing, and he falls to the side with a sorrowed eep. Whoops, sorry about that. Legs fell asleep on me. And he remains on the ground, giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Emmy, who has yet to get up. Aww. Her hair is splayed out around her head. Her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emmy seems to be condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thought. Indeed, I'm convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Fortunately, the sun has set, and it's probably time for us to get back to the dormitories. Right? Reminds me of a Pokemon lolly. Okay. Well, I may be happy to stay out here all night. I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. It shouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Amy to help her up. Should we get going? Amy makes a sour face. You're right. She grabs my proffered hand, and I pull her to her feet and into a hug. This time, I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emmy against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know? Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get into trouble. Emmy pokes me in the ribs playfully. And you need to do your homework, I'm sure. Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arm around the shoulders and we make the trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smells. All too soon, we find ourselves outside the girls' dormitory building. Well, I guess I'll be going then. I guess so, huh? Emmy grins at me again with that mischievous look. You gonna be able to survive without me? I laugh. Ahaha! I'm sure I'll manage. How terrible. Aren't you supposed to say something? I'll be counting the seconds you are away. Nah, I don't think so. Emmy pulls you down to a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy. Thanks for dinner. I really had fun. Honestly, I did. So did I. I think we shall have to do it again sometime. Emmy laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods. See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You've got to run off that bread after all. Of course, despite the fact that you ate most of it. Yes, despite that. See you later, Hisao. Why are you counting the kisses, Death? As Emmy turns to the head side, I notice something weird. Something so weird that I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. She's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Hey, Emmy. Is your leg okay? Emmy's confused, or at least fakes confusion. What are you talking about? Your right leg. You're limping. There's a previous flash of concern on Emmy's face. Either she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I'd notice. Or, for a thing, she just didn't realize it. Oh, that. She shrugs casually. Must have gotten knocked a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what would have caused that, of course. Think back to being pinned under the tree. She probably should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know? Anyways, I hand it early. Nah, that's not that big of a deal. This guy's lucky as fuck. It's like as if he's a visual novel dating sim protagonist. Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, Hisao? It's fine. Why do I get the feeling... Just got to save, boy. Why do you get the feeling that she's convinced herself as well as me? Are you absolutely sure? You don't want to go ahead and adjust it before heading up the stairs? You could get hurt if you don't, right? I said it was fine, Hisao. Seriously, don't worry about it. Got some experience in these matters after all. Yeah, I suppose so. And he grins reassuringly. Honestly, Hisao, I appreciate the concern, but I really am okay. Not really, I need to get going. Your attempts to keep me around are doomed to fail. Heh, of course. Just prolonging the goodbye, I suppose. Another grin lights up Emi's face. Good night, Hisao. Good night. I wonder if that was the right thing to do. I find it best to do, because show concern for your girlfriend is the best thing to do. She jumps inside. I find myself hoping she's okay despite her assurances that she's fine. I think I can call this a successful first date. Hell, any day that ends with Emi pinning me under a tree to kiss me can't be bad, can it? I head back to my room, mentally thank the gods that Kenji doesn't ambush me in the hallway and get started on my homework. Thank God. The morning is far too early for my taste. It doesn't help that I had trouble sleeping last night. There's simply too many things to think about. My mind refused to slow down. Instead, I replayed the rooftop, the park, and everything else over and over in my mind. Small part of my mind that is still apparent that this has been all some kind of joke. I meet up with Emmy at the track, and she'll act like nothing happened yesterday. Pushing these thoughts to the back of my mind, I throw on my running clothes and open the door. Well, wouldn't that be best if she just pretended none of it happened just in the morning so that you guys can get running? Emmy's waiting for me with her usual smile. You're late. Or at least, you're not early today. Are you tired or something? I find myself ruefully rubbing the back of my head. Something like that, yeah. Lots to think about and all that. Emmy giggles at my mild understatement. Yeah, I didn't sleep that well either. I was actually glad you weren't early, because I wasn't early either. I wonder if the same thing kept us awake. The image of her weeping face passes through my mind. What kept you up? Emmy's expression falters, but she quickly notices my curiosity and forces a smile. Nothing important. He's obviously not telling me something. The question is, should I press the issue? Something's clearly been bothering her for a while. I want to help her, but would it just come off as me being nosy? She doesn't know I care about her, though. Are you sure? If something's bothering you, I'm here to help you sort it out. Emmy laughs then, but it's not her usual laugh. There's an edge to it that seems almost bitter. Sort it out? I'm not sure it can be sorted out, Hisao. An almost grim smile crosses her lips. It's like a smile of resignation. I don't think you could help me anyway. That hurts. I don't want to say that hurts to her, but it does. Didn't you realize I want to be there for her when things go wrong? Isn't that what a boyfriend's supposed to do? Well, I won't push you on the matter. But I'm here for you if you decide later that you'd like to talk about it. It might help. I see the debate raging behind Emmy's eyes. It seems like she wants to tell me, but she's not sure whether or not she can. Hey, forget about it for now, okay? We've got running to do. The inertia of running, something that she can handle, brings Emmy back to her usual self. Right. Hurry up and stretch out, Hisao. We've got to get moving. Check us off like a shot, far quicker than I'm used to. So I try to keep pace with her, recklessly testing my limits. Gives me a feeling of freedom, like my heart is no longer important. Find myself wanting to laugh, filled with the feeling of moving beyond what I once called my boundaries. This is warning to not overdo things echo my mind, I disregard them. Dude. Come on, dude. This feeling I have, this willingness to risk a heart attack for something so trivial, that's when my run feels out of character for me. But is it? Or rather, should it be? I got a weak heart, sure. I'll never be capable of the kind of speed and endurance Emmy's capable of. Though I probably wouldn't be able to get that good, even if I had a healthy heart. As we run the final bend, I feel my legs screaming in protest, but first time I ignore them. I save it to finish up this ad sprint, nearly catching up to Emmy. That was never going to happen, of course. Still, I feel surprisingly good. Oh, sure, my legs feel like they're about to catch fire, but I'm having trouble staying upright. There's been a shift of some sort today. And it's all thanks to the girl grinning at the finish line waiting for me. I felt a little faster than usual. My comment is met with a grin and a shrug. Can't have you think I was going to go soft on you now, can I? I managed to handle it just fine. Well, I could have done it without you. Still feeling the high from the run. When I moved by a surge of gratitude, I seized Emmy and hug. Thanks. Really, I'm not just saying that. I'm in your debt. Emmy seems flustered by my words, squirming uncomfortably. Don't be silly, Sal. Someone had to haul you out here, didn't they? It's not like you're not doing anything for me, right? I need a running partner, remember? She my head, still pointedly not letting go of Emmy. Stops squirming and merely looks up at me with a quickly deepening blush that almost seems out of character. No, that's not true. You wanted a running partner, but you didn't need one. If I had shoved the day after festival, you would still run, right? But doesn't work the other way around. I only managed to make it out a few times before the festival. Without you, I probably wouldn't have made it out at all after that. And he smiles at me and prods my chest with one finger. You're pretty lazy, Sal. Hey, I was giving you a compliment. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I'll pay you back somehow. Oh, well, that's not necessary, you know? I mean, I kind of like you, Sal. Being able to run with you in the mornings isn't exactly a bad deal for me either, so... Kinda like me? Pardon me? For someone who gets so much praise, she seems unused to the gratitude. Can't think of anything else to say, so we fall silent. Become aware of Annie's breathing, of the dampness of her clothes, and of the scent of her. Coming off of anyone, it would stink. You know, Emmy? It fits her in a way nothing else could. I love her musk smell. Her skin is cool, slick with sweat, and her breath causes goosebumps to rise. Almost without thinking about it, I lean down to Emmy's mouth, which has already moved to meet my own. Her lips are soft, and she hums happily as we kiss, sending vibrations from her mouth to mine. There's a startling rightness to everything about this moment. We fit one another perfectly. I consent, and I finally let my arms drop back to my sides. Emmy is smiling warmly at me and giggles again. Come on, Sal, we'd better go see the nurse. Then it happens. As she turns to begin walking, she gets out a tiny up and stumbles forward. Emmy! I like to say her nose with some concern that she's faring the same leg as last night. Your leg! Everything's panic and pushes away from me. It's fine! My expression must seem hurt, because she hastens to apologize. Sorry. Didn't mean to push you like that. I was just... She stumbles for something to say. It's nothing, really. What's wrong with her leg? Hey, don't worry about it. She's so flustered, I decided to shrug the whole thing off. There's a cold feeling in my stomach that won't go away. I tried to step in and help her, and she pushed me away. Smiling, I shoved those thoughts back of mine and concentrate on Emmy. I just don't want you getting hurt, that's all. You don't have to worry about me, honest. I'm fine. You say that, but I don't believe you. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? It's like she gets offended by my trying to help. What am I supposed to make of that? I'm still trying to what happened on the track as we arrive in front of the nurse's office. Emmy raises his hand and knock, hesitates and turns to me, smiling guiltily. Hey, can you do me a favor? Of course. Excuse me. Can you tell the nurse that I'll see him later? I just remembered that I've got some stuff to take care of before class. So we need to get moving. I peer her closely and she fidgets under my stare. Yeah, she's clearly just avoiding the nurse. That leg of hers, well, whatever. I said I hope, and so I will. But I make damn sure she sees the nurse before the day's out. Yeah, okay, I'll let him know. Emmy looks like I've just given her a pony on Christmas. Thank you so much. You're the best, Isao. I know. I'm rewarded for my complicity in her lie by it. A kiss that makes it all worth it, or so I tell myself. Emmy heads out of the building, trying hard not to let her lip show. I knock on the door of the office. Ah, Hisao, come on in. I don't see Emmy with you. She's not sick again, is she? From his voice, I don't think the nurse is expecting me to say, yes, she's ill. She said she forgot to do something, so she had to skip out, but she'll see you later today. The nurse heaves an exasperated sigh. Honestly, that girl. She's been avoiding me. Yesterday she was in and out, without even taking off her prosthetics. And now this? Well, at least it's not just me Emmy doesn't want worrying. That's a comfort, I guess. So I feel like I should say something about her leg. I said I liked for her, but she really needs to see him. Then he mentioned it. She was limping pretty badly today. And last night as well. Nurse's eyes narrow at the words last night. What exactly were you two doing last night? We were, on a date. Nurse raises his eyebrows as if surprised. Really? Interesting. Huh? Oh, nothing. He's just thinking back to when I asked him. Like, you little bitch. His gaze turns thoughtful, and then he grins at me. You don't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to get her to come see me today, could you? Of course. I was planning on doing that anyway. I think she's really hurt and just pretending she isn't. Yes, she does that. Afraid I'll make her stop running. Will you? I don't like to, but if it's bad enough that she's been limping, well, guess I'll have to see what's wrong for myself before I can make that call. I see. Emmy? Not allowed to run? Perish the thought. I don't know if she'd be able to function without running. No wonder she's reluctant to admit anything's wrong. Well, I'll make sure she sees you. Good. Oh, and before I forget. He grins at me again in what feels like a vaguely threatening manner. Don't forget that I know what medications you're on. You be careful around Emmy, got it? Wow, he looks serious too. Got it. Don't hurt Emmy. Wouldn't dream of it. Grand. I hate for you to be late. Huh? Late, as in the late Hisao Nakai. He frowned briefly, dissatisfied. Sounded better in my head. Well, at any rate, get out of here before you miss your first class. You've got things to do, I'm sure. Shoo! As I leave, I notice the nurse pulling out his phone and dialing a number. Miko, your daughter's being a pain in the ass again. I better head back to my room, or I'll be really late. Hey, wasn't he supposed to check my heart rate? Lunch bell sounds, and I bring myself out of the stupor I slipped into during the morning classes. My lack of sleep last night, coupled with the increased pace of this morning's run, has left me a little exhausted. Despite that, I find myself skipping stairs up to the roof. There's a thrill of excitement now, in addition to the pleasure one gets from eating lunch with one's friends. True, both Emmy and Rin are still my friends, but Emmy has become more than that now. She's my fuck buddy. Rin is back in her usual spot on the roof, almost as if she'd never been absent. Feeling better, I take it? I raise eyebrows, my reward for speaking. Better than what? Or better than you felt yesterday? Rin gives my questions some serious thought. I'm not sure. I think I might have felt rather good for some of yesterday, but it's all fuzzy. Too much cold medicine? Well, I was asleep. And that usually is pretty good. But I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep, because I'm not conscious for it. It's a real problem. Then again, if I knew how it felt, I might not sleep anymore. But this way I keep trying, so I guess that's how I can keep from being overtired. An internal mystery to keep you sleeping at night? Maybe mystery is the wrong word. Intangibility might be the proper way to describe it. I see. No, I don't see it at all. I have no idea what she's talking about, but that's okay, since I rarely do. Do you remember what sleeping feels like? Like yesterday, do you remember what you felt like sleeping yesterday? Well, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep yesterday. Maybe that's because you remember subconsciously. Actually, I think I was worrying about Emmy. Doesn't Emmy worry enough about herself? I didn't consider that, but it gives me pause. True, but would she ask for help if she needed it? Rin frowns and I raise an eyebrow. Will I get a proper answer? Probably not. There's something she would be asking if... Is there something she should be asking for help with? Her leg, for starters. Seems to catch Rin's interest. Oh, that's a funny face. Leg? It's hurt, but she won't see the nurse about it. Rin shakes her head in disapproval. You have to make her. Like she makes you in class, for her own good. Otherwise, she could lose her legs again, and that's just too weird. Losing things twice? Especially if you don't find them again to begin with. Unless prosthetics are the same as finding something. That's a different kind of loss, isn't it? I think so. I wonder. Wonder what? Emmy seems to have snuck up on Rin and me, though Rin doesn't seem especially surprised, which is itself surprising, I suppose. Rin managed to sit upright quite expertly, throwing her upper body forward and using her momentum to right herself. Your leg, how's it feel? This earns a frown and a bit of a glare. It's okay, I think. Not worth worrying about. Tell that to the nurse. He's quite insistent that you visit him, you know. It feels like I've just told her she's been grounded. He worries too much. It's not a big deal, just a little soreness. Try to resist rolling my eyes in exasperation. If it's nothing, then you should have no problem seeing him, right? Emmy narrows her eyes suspiciously. Did he put you up to this? Well, maybe. A little. That's not the point. It would have reminded you to see him anyway. It'd be terrible to see you really hurt and not doing anything about it. That'd make it worse, and I don't really want to see you hurt, you know? Call me crazy, but I kind of would prefer to see you happy and healthy. With each statement, Emmy's frown fades a little more until eventually she's grinning, albeit a little shyly. Well, you're gonna put it that way, then I guess I'll have to see him. Yes. I win! Boyfriend wins! I like how Rin's just standing there, absent-minded. Otherwise, you keep worrying, and I'll never hear the end of it, right? That's right, I'll keep bugging you about it, and then I put a damper on our dates. Fatality! Finish her! How's food, Sal? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. How's your day, Sal? Talk to the nurse, Emmy. So I think I'm ready to go. I'll talk to the nurse, Emmy. See, it doesn't work that well. Emmy giggles at my high-pitched rendition of her own voice and gives me an affectionate shove. My voice isn't that high, jerk. I wouldn't know. I thought it was pretty accurate. Emmy and I stare at Rin for a while before I burst into laughter. Emmy crosses his arms and huffs, mock offended. You're both jerks. Such vile calumnies from you. Calumnies? What? From you, young woman. I'm stunned that you would call me, of all people, a jerk. Honestly, I don't know what to think. Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. You a ass? So Rin, how's the art club these days? Rin, seemingly as surprised by the sudden change of topic as I am, takes a minute to think before answering. I believe it is okay. Although Nomiya keeps telling me to work harder. But I don't think he understands my methods. He always struck me as slightly creepy. Rin ponders the statement for a while. I've never really noticed. I don't pay much attention to him most days, so maybe that's why. How often do you meet? Think of joining us, Al? What? Nah, I've already decided to join a club. Really? Which one? Well, it's not really much of a club, to be honest. Oh, you joined the tea club. No, I joined the science club, I think. Emmy looks highly confused. We have a science club? Not really. It's just me. And Sal, that's not much of a club. That's sitting in a room reading books. I mean, it's just me and Muto. I'm just the only student so far. Muto? Really? A thought strikes her. Oh, is that what you were talking about yesterday? You're meeting with Muto? Yeah, that was our first meeting, I guess. Emmy giggles. Nerd. This nerd's gonna put you up. Hey, I can't help being clever. You know, I could have used your help years ago. You should have had your heart attack early in life, Sal. I laugh and then realize this is probably one of the very rare times I laughed about my heart attack. Hindsight. Yeah. Ringing the bell ends our conversation. Guess we better go. Yeah, I guess so. Did we even eat? Come on, Rin. You too. Rin has apparently begun to doze off, so Emmy gives her a sharp bump. I almost had it. Sorry, but you need to go to class. I disagree, but maybe if I nap in class, I'll get it this time. Changing location is sometimes helpful for that kind of thing. Neither Emmy nor I bother asking what it is. As we arrive in my classroom, Emmy gives me a quick kiss and heads down the hallway, Rin in tow. Oh god! As I turn to enter the classroom to be met by the duo of Shizune and Misha. Misha seems to be fighting a losing battle to keep from breaking into a fit of giggles. While she translates Shizune's latest rant. While we are pleased, nay thrilled to see how you managed to make new friends and forge relationships, and was such a cutie too, Hichan. I think that last part was probably Misha. We nevertheless feel compelled to politely remind you that public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really? Really? That's disappointing, Hichan. By Section 8... that public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really? That's disappointing, Hichan. By Section 8 of the Code of Conduct laid out in the student handbook. In this case, however, ignorance of the law may be your excuse, as we are feeling lenient. The paperwork required to punish the both of you would only add to the already mountainous volume of work which confronts us, the sole members of the student council, besides, you two are adorable together. Therefore, consider this a formal warning, and please refrain from such displays in the future, at least when Shizune can see you, Hichan. This whole spiel is so patently ridiculous that I can't help replying in the same pompous manner. Well, I for one feel enlightened. I apologize profusely for my rash actions and will strive to contain my baser impulses, which I fear impel me towards such inappropriate displays of public affection. It's hardly my wish to burden an already overworked student council with such petty matters, and will do my best to make your life easier in this matter in the future. At least when Shizune is watching. This last line is delivered with a wink to Misha, and who finally loses control of her laughter. Wahaha! Well said, Hichan. Checking it a little myself, we entered the classroom. Class is uneventful, and after the final bell rings, I find myself alone with Mito again. So it looks like we've all assembled for the second meeting of the science club. Or is it the first? What do you think? Should we count yesterday's meeting? Well, we did form the club yesterday, didn't we? Seems like club business. So we can safely call yesterday a meeting. Smiles in his usual stilted and awkward way. I wonder if the muscles in his face are just not shaped correctly to let him smile naturally. You really do have a knack for this, I think. Logical thought processes, that is. I guess so? A scientist speaks with authority, Sao. The answer here is, yes, I do. When the world wants to know how it works, we tell it, even if all we've got is a decent hypothesis. Excuse me. We must sound certain anyway, because the authority's on the subject, right? Yeah, because P is stored in the balls. I know it. I'm certain. He chuckles to go along with his awkward smile and his awkward joke. I'm doing my best not to grimace, but I don't think I'm being too successful. That's entirely false, of course. We know a lot, sure, but nobody's an expert on how the world works. If only because nobody can be sure. With no certainty, there are no experts. But we like to pretend sometimes. There's some things we can be certain of, right? Yes, but no. We know gravity's there, for example. To illustrate, Mito picks up a pencil and drops it. See? Still there. But it's good to check every once in a while. That's why you'll still see researchers mucking about with gravity. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but there's a chance that something isn't how we think it is. So you check and check and check. That's science in a nutshell, Sal. The whole time I've listened feeling rather spellbound. Seems to really be passionate about this stuff. I think. It's hard to tell sometimes. How the world works, how humans work, how the universe works. All these questions to be answered. And depending on what I go into, maybe I could even figure out a way to fix my heart. That said, I don't think that's a real priority for me. Besides, as we start discussing the book you gave me yesterday, I found myself more and more interested in that than my heart condition. Before we even realize it, an hour's gone by. Well, let's call this meeting over for now, okay? We'll have another meeting tomorrow, or the day after. You consider this for a moment. Call it the day after. I've got a lot of grading to do. Okay, see you then. That picture, man, that painting. As I exit the classroom, I realize I don't really have anything to do tonight. I mean, I didn't make plans, so I guess I'll go to the library. It beats doing homework in my room anyway. The library always seems cooler than the rest of the building. Probably to keep the books from getting damaged by excessive heat and humidity. Books are sturdy objects, but if you want to keep them in good condition, it takes a little effort. I have several books that are so well worn the pages are barely clinging to the spine. It seems impossible for them to still be usable, but if you handle them with care... I make my way to the main desk where I spot Yuko busying herself with something or another. She smiles at me as I enter and waves. Hello, Zao. Good to see you again. What are you looking for this time? Nothing particular, I guess. I just didn't really feel like going back to my room at all. Is all. Yuka nods. Well, if you're unoccupied, maybe you could help me look for something. Sure, what do you need? Oh, is it the advanced cryptography? Yuka brings her finger to her lips and looks around furtively. Seems to be looking for eavesdroppers. Come closer. Take a few hesitant steps forward while feeling distinctly unnerved. Yuka lowers her voice to a confidential whisper. I'm on the trail of the Yamaku cat burglar. The what? Shh! The walls have ears, Asao. Or they might. But listen, those missing books, remember? Remember them? Yeah? Well, they weren't missing. They were stolen. I'm convinced of it. I remember you saying something of the sort earlier, but how do you know? You can use the color, and if possible, whispers even lower. Because I found one of his hiding places. You did what? Yuka looks triumphant. Found one of statues. It was under one of the stairwells in the boys' dorm. 3 books I've been looking for, all there. I suspected a thief before, but this proves it. So did you take back the books? Yuka looks as if I suggested she walk around naked. Are you nuts? He can't know I'm onto him. He might go to ground and evade capture. You know, this is all really reminding me of someone. Uh-huh. So what do you need my help with then? Yuka casts another glance around the library and leans in closer. You've got to spy for me. Spy? Yeah, like when you're in the dorms, you know? Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. What constitutes suspicious anyway? I guess Kenji's a pretty suspicious dude, but I'll wager he barely goes to class, much less sneaks into the library to pull for books. Isn't that just exactly what he did, though? Still, what's the harm in saying yes? At least it'll get me out of this weird conversation. Yeah, I can do that. No problem. Yuka straightens up and claps excitedly. Great! Now, hurry up and talk about something else in case someone comes in. How's the school treating you? Pretty well, actually. We've been running in the mornings with Emi Ibarazaki, right? Yeah. How'd you know? I served you 2 in the tea house, remember? I deduced that if you're going to run with anyone, it'd probably be her. She looks pleased with herself. Yeah, good job. Impressive. Anyway, yes, we've been running in the mornings, and, we kind of started dating. You can clap your hands together excitedly. Really? That's great. I always shipped you guys together. I bet you two are great together. I love seeing people find one another like that, you know? I even thought to myself when you walked in the Shanghai that one time, I wonder if that kid would wind up with one of those girls. Really? Yuka doesn't seem to notice my somewhat weirded out tone and nods affirmatively. Yep, I could tell that you'd wind up with one of them, you know? I've got an eye for that sort of thing. Of course, your expression droops slightly. I'm not so good at it myself. I'm sure that's not true. Oh, it's true. I met this guy once. Well, I'm really great, but it turned out he was younger than me. That was kind of weird, but not terribly so. What was really weird was that he disappeared one day, and I've not seen him since then. Huh. That does seem kind of odd. Doesn't it? That wasn't something I did. I feel compelled to reassure her. I'm sure it wasn't. I intend to try and calm her down further, but the both of us jump in surprise at the ringing something coming from my pocket. Yuko sighs to steady herself as I pull the phone from my pocket. I feel a little sheepish for indirectly causing the incident. Emi, what's up? Oh, thank God, I haven't called your phone before, so I didn't know this number would work or whether you'd pick up, and I can't... Whoa there, Emi, slow down. What's wrong? There's pause on the other side of the line, during which I can hear Emi trying to control her breathing in order to calm down. Something's got her terribly agitated, and it's starting to agitate me. Can you stop by? Like now, or shortly after now? I really need to talk to you. There's a tone of pleading in the last sentence that I don't think I've ever heard from her. Of course, I'll be right there. Hold steady, okay? My increasingly agitated state, I've apparently started saying things that don't quite make sense. Okay, I'll be okay. See you soon. Press the button to end the call before slipping the phone back into my pocket. I apologize to Yuko for running off and run off. Perhaps at some point, I would have stopped to think about the time or how suspicious it looks for a guy to enter the girl's dorm at this hour. So right now, I'm just concerned with getting to Emi and finding out what's wrong and how I can help her. Knock on the door and am greeted with a subdued "Come in." Something is very wrong as I stare at the scene before me. Emi's there, yes, but she's in a wheelchair. Her legs are missing. I glance around the room and see them sitting in a corner, looking like they've been thrown there. Emi responds to my entrance with a lopsided grin that is both pleased to see me and completely, utterly heartbroken. Hi, Asao. Looks like she's been crying, but if she was, she's stopped now. I guess I'm a little out of breath, having taken the stairs 2 at a time in order to get here. My heart doesn't seem to mind the strain, though. I'll file this happy fact away for later consideration. Like when I'm not staring somewhat Dutch-like at my girlfriend in a wheelchair. Realizing I've still not responded to her greeting, my brain lurches into gear. Emmy, what happened? Guess I should have listened to you, Hisao. My leg's gotten a nasty infection. I'm not allowed to run on it for at least a couple of weeks. Aww. She gives a bitter laugh that shouldn't be coming from her. I can't even walk on it. Could use a crutch and kept on one of my legs, but I didn't see the point. Why hop? You can't run on one leg. Not with that attitude. At least this way I can still, I don't know, roll fast or something. Yeah, that's good, right? My awkward attempt to look on the bright side seems appreciated, but not really effective. Emmy shrugs again. It's just kind of a nuisance. I mean, we can't even eat up on the roof now. No wheelchair access. That is weird. Why does this school not have wheelchair access? Yeah, but that's not a big deal, right? I mean, we can still eat together. That's the important thing. Also, I grin again. It hurts to look at. I suppose so, yeah. But like I said, it's a nuisance. Oh. I mean, I haven't really used a wheelchair in... She thinks for a minute. Maybe 7 years? Something like that, anyway. A long time. I'm afraid I'm a bit out of practice. Well, fortunately, it's only temporary, right? Emmy nods. Oh yeah, of course. It's not like I've lost them permanently. But it's a pain in the ass all the same. I can understand that. I nod sympathetically. There's not much else I can do after all. What am I going to say? I told you so? Although I did tell her to get that leg looked at. By the time I noticed it, it was too late anyway. Do you need help with anything? Or that is, can I help with anything? Emmy shakes her head and there's a bit of her usual grin back. Nah, I can manage fine by myself. Although if you want to help me over to my bed, it would save me the trouble of rolling over there myself. Where is this going? I blush in spite of myself. Emmy giggles. You're such a prude, Hisao. Not a prude. I just wouldn't want to take advantage of a young woman such as yourself. It's ungentlemanly. I wheel Emmy's chair to the bed, and easily scoop her up and deposit her there. She quickly sorts herself out and sits on the side. She's actually a little heavier than she looks. It would be rude of me to observe this aloud, of course. Man, you're kind of heavy. So why'd you say it out loud? It hits her with the pillow. Ass. Just saying is all. Must be all that running. Making your thighs all that just... Oh, god damn it. At the mention of running, Emmy's grin falters slightly. Heh, well I guess I don't have to worry about that for a bit, huh? Maybe I'll lose some weight. That's what you do, lose weight, right? Cease physical activity? Pretty sure that's what the nurse would recommend. Speaking of which, are you going to still be showing up in the mornings? I'd hate to run alone. Oh shit. Emmy's sudden interjection, more disquieted muttering than anything to refrain, caused me to look over in shock. She's leaning forward, trying to cover the fact that she's crying by covering her eyes with a hand. Of course, the subdued sobbing makes it pretty obvious that she's crying. Hey, I'm sorry. Forget I say anything, okay? Pulls a hand gingerly around her and pull her close. Can't think of nothing else to say or do. How do you comfort someone who's just lost their legs again? Emmy wraps me in a hug and stays that way for a while. Wrap your leg nubs around me. Sorry. I'm pretty bad at this whole comforting thing, I guess. Don't say that. I'm fine, really. Voice is slightly muffled by my chest. I pat her head reassuringly. That's the spirit, right? You'll get through this fine, I know it. Besides, I'm here to help you, remember? Emmy lifts her head and stares at me with tear-stained eyes. Can you? Can you really? She's grinning lopsidedly, and something sparkles in her gaze. I can't tell if I'm being mocked or not. Where could this go? Where could this go? I'm starting to think maybe in the mornings I'll like have her piggyback on my shoulders and I'll just run around with her like that. Might be a thing. Might be. Can't tell if I'm being mocked or not. Of course, I mean, sure, you're heavy, but... Of course, I mean, sure, you're heavy... My witty comment is cut off by the sudden press of Emmy's lips on mine. I'm caught off guard and am worried by hitting my head on the wall behind her bed. Ow! Emmy pulls back, trying to look concerned rather than like she's about to laugh. You okay? Sorry. I rubbed my head ruefully and grinned back at her. Caught me off guard there. Is that going to become a habit? Am I going to be lectured by Shizune and Misha more? To mention the duo, Emmy giggles. Honestly, those two. If I didn't know why, I'd be utterly confused as to why she hangs around with someone so bossy. Which one are we talking about? You know exactly which one. Isao. Misha's hardly bossy. So what's the reason then? Huh? The reason why Misha hangs around Shizune? Emmy waves my question off with a smile. No idea. I see. Anyway, you seem to be forgetting the original question, don't you? Oh yeah, I guess I am. You don't mind giving a guy a little warning, would you? Otherwise I'm liable to wind up with a concussion. I emphasize the point by rubbing at the back of my head. Emmy giggles madly. You could wear a helmet. Some kids here do, you know. Or I could just take revenge. I grab a pillow from beside me and whack Emmy over the head. Emmy topples off the bed and lands on the floor. Oh, with a thump. Her arms promptly reappear on the bed, and she manages to pull herself back up. She really has a surprising amount of strength in that little body. Her face is turned downwards and away from mine, making me think I might have accidentally hurt her. Emmy, you okay? You didn't hear. A hand shoots up and grabs my collar. She pulls me in with a sharp tug. Her face now barely an inch away from mine as she grins cheekily. Emmy? Did she just? She gives me a sharp head, but our foreheads making quite a loud thud. I sit back and grab my now sore head as Emmy smirks victoriously. Wouldn't that hurt her? How is that for revenge? No fair. You can't take revenge for revenge. For someone missing most of her legs. Emmy's surprisingly agile. I step at her, but she definitely rolls out of the way and lands a hit with her pillow. Backstab, backstab, dodge roll, backstab. Of course, the odds are against her. I can stand up for starters. Oof. Oof. Guess I can after all. Emmy seems to have effectively tripped me up and is now sitting primely astride me as I lay on my back. I'm not even sure how she managed it. I win. Her eyes twinkle mischievously. I have been thoroughly defeated, and by a girl that's a fraction of my size at that. Then again, being defeated doesn't seem quite so bad. Emmy being positioned over my waist isn't something that I or my body can ignore easily. I open my lips to speak, but Emmy's head darts downwards before I can get so much as a word out. I give no resistance as she presses her mouth to mine. Not that I'd want to. Hold on, let me look at something. Okay. Back to it. Oh, yeah. This is different somehow. She pulls back up, nips at my lower lip, and reinitiates the embrace. Her tongue darts inside my mouth, exploring. I can feel warmth spreading through my body as my heart begins to beat faster. Hoo boy, hoo boy, hoo boy. My mind starts to go far again and become vaguely aware of my hand traveling up Emmy's blouse. Emmy gasps as I reach her breast, and then there's a giggle, and then I stare up at a grinning Emmy. Told you, that makes my second win now. What? That doesn't count. You use feminine wiles. All is fair in love and war, right? Huh, and you're even blushing. I didn't know you were a blusher, Sal. You're blushing too, you know, probably because of your prudish ways. Even I've got to admit that this is a stupid thing to say to a woman who's currently straddling me and has been, up until a few seconds ago, playing tonsil hockey with me. Interesting turn of phrase. A prude, am I? Well then, let's see who blushes first, shall we? I'm not sure whether the tone of her voice terrifies or arouses me. That question is quickly made rather moot. Oh my god, okay, hold up. I'm not sure it's allowed on Twitch. Damn, it doesn't block it. What the fuck? What do I do? Why is it going more to the right? There we go. What do I do? We'll see. I'm impressed by how quick she was able to pull off her clothes. That was like very quickly. I didn't even think to even imagine that we'd get to the sexual part right now. Shit. What to do? Guess I have to add like a picture or something. That was quite a surprise. That was quite a shocker. So let me see if I can just get a random picture. That's a good one. There we go. It's just this makes me laugh. Let's just put that over the yep, there we go. I'll see if that works. Let's see. Does it work? Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're good. We're safe, everyone. We're being safe. Oh, right. I have to... In a motion of practice, she peels her blouse off and tosses it carelessly aside. That's impressive. Her bra and skirt quickly follow onto the floor. Ha! I fight the urge to blush. It's a rather hard task. Escalation, is it? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. No penis, no penis. Come on, guys. Come on, we gotta be... It's children here. There's children here. And this is weird. This is getting weird. My own shirt follows suit, albeit with some difficulty thanks to my position. I mean, mock yawns. You'll have to try harder than that. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Got to move that again. How do I turn off the like... What do I do? My hands gently caress Emmy's fair skin, causing her to shiver. It would seem that my hands are acting on their own again. If our position had let me, I'd probably have finished her undressing for her. I start to say something about how Emmy's starting to blush, but both of us are very rapidly reaching the edge of something very barely holding us back. Conversation grinds to a halt, and I feel my arms losing energy. Neither of us, however, is prepared for the sudden new sensation. I probably should have. Why didn't I turn it off before? I guess I just, like, it hadn't crossed my mind that I would get to it now. I thought that was, like, late game, man. Indescribable heat surges through me, coming from both myself and, it seems, Emmy as well. With one hand to my chest, on my chest to steady yourself, another holding mine to make sure that I can't have my way with her body again. She looks pleased with herself. Oh god, there it is again. Okay, changing. Ah, fuck. We got it. We got it. Everything's under control. Everything's fine. That's a weird face you're making there, Emmy. It's a weird face. Then, after a moment's hesitation, she moves. And she moves again. And again. As she moves... Wait, what? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Are they frauding? I didn't think we'd reach, you know... Is this third base? Morales as well. And by a fear social laser bounce. It must be hard for her to keep steady because she's missing her leg. God damn, why do you keep switching? Stop switching. Stop that. Stop it. What do I have to do? Hold on. What do I do? Okay. I guess we're gonna have to do it after this. No, I'll save. I'll save here. Main menu. Okay, disable adult content. Load. Let's see what happens. Damn it, still there. Oh, it disables the sex scenes, but not nudity. Oh, god damn it. I guess we'll just keep this going. Fine, you win. You win game. God damn it. Though I am going to keep OBS off to the side, just for when I need to switch it quickly. I said here as best I can, cupping my hands around her backside. It's firm and taut. Makes sense considering how much she runs. The potential power in those muscles makes them flex as she responds to my touch. What I failed to take into account is the fact that my attempt to steady Emmy kind of slides her forward and... well, it feels amazing. God damn it. Okay, there, got it. We're good. We're getting slightly easily against my charges, and it doesn't take us long to figure out a rhythm. But Emmy refuses to keep to it, going now fast, now slow, now pausing for feels like an eternity. I'm not sure whether she's doing this to target me, or if it's to make her feel better, but I'm well past caring. The heat returns is growing more intense. I can't hold back a gasp. The noise only seems to drive Emmy along. Maybe I should just, like, block the whole body. How's that? I think that's pretty good. I mean, the penetrating rate on my own, which causes her modest breath to bounce and turn along movement. Her breaths begin to come faster as we continue, my own breath becoming equally quick. With her eyes closed, her lips twisted expectantly, I managed to lift myself up for a few moments, our mouths seeking one another, just like us our sweat mingles. As I flopped back down, her trousers soaked in sweat. I would take them off if it didn't mean stopping what we're doing. I don't want to stop what we're doing, stop the going pressure that's sticking in the back of my brain. The olfactory set? Wait, not the olfactory, the optical part of your head. It's back here. I get slightly faster and panting heavily, her voice seems unable to convey what she's feeling. Her body and the hands doing a fine job. Suddenly she moves a little more erratically as my own breath touches my throat. Ending in a final desperate thrust that sends me over the edge into a surging feeling I didn't know existed. That was practically sex, though, guys. My mind blanks for the white noise. I succumb to the feeling of a climax. For a few seconds, everything else in the world falls away except for this amazing feeling of Emmy and I together. Okay, good. And then it passes. The white noise clears, and I am left staring up into the eyes of the girl taught me. 3 minutes, neither of us speaks. The sound of our breathing fills the room, our chests heaving from the experience. She eventually, reluctantly, shifts off of me and sits against the wall. I join her. Oh, thank God. Perfect. Perfectly done. Perfectly executed, men. Mission is a success. So, did I blush? I didn't notice. Did I? Emmy shrugs, still breathing a little heavily. Didn't notice either. Well, maybe we should... Oh, fuck! Emmy, what are you doing here with your Kirby out? I need to use your window. My first instinct is to hide, but then I realize that I'm still utterly exhausted and sitting next to a topless Emmy, so there's no running away. Rin's eyes passes over from Emmy, and focuses on the window. There was a cloud. A cloud? Rin nods. I was watching it from my window, but it didn't stay in my window. So I need to use your window. Emmy Fizzle caused me to cough in order to cover up a giggle of my own. How long do you need the window for? We're, busy. This time I can't contain my laughter. Rin ignores both Emmy and peers out the window. Her shoulders slump and she looks disappointed. It changed into something else. Disappointing. Emmy's having trouble keeping a straight face. Sorry to hear that, Rin. Could we have a little privacy now, please? Rin probably wouldn't be one to care about privacy, would she? Rin shrugs it to say, "Can you?" and hooks her foot around the door, pulling it closed behind her. We both dissolve into our raucous laughter, unable to deal with Rin's bizarrely timed visit any other way. After our laughter dies down, I look to Emmy. We're both a total mess. Well, Emmy raises an eyebrow. Well, Again? Emmy begins to laugh, and then she nods. I should probably ditch the clothes this time. But that would be sex. That would be sex, guys. Your Kirby is so entrancing, Emmy. Wow. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I don't know where I'm gonna put the Kirby right here. Oh, you went back to your room. The sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness, and I find myself blushing. That was an eventful night, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. Did you guys use protection? I mean, the walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. My trousers had been soiled. I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room. But there was still a fairly obvious-looking stain on the front. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji, and he didn't notice the thing. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked how the night went, and whether or not I'd learned anything of importance. I don't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. This morning, I'll admit, I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emmy had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She's indeed waiting for me when I arrive. She's doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact that she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early? Emmy frowns and shakes her head. Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept as how? All tuckered out? Well, she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Amy laughs out loud, and then her face suddenly becomes concerned. Hey, that's not a... I mean, you're not... Go on, spit it out. She said that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were... Oh. She shouts it. It really is a legitimate concern. Certainly had thought of it last night, of course, other than other more pressing concerns had been at hand. Maybe we should ask the nurse. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more of a strain than these morning runs, and I handle those fine, so... Amy considers this point. That's a new face. A devious light appears in her eyes. Say. The light vanishes, and Emmy grins ruefully at me. Can't help but feel vaguely suspicious. Seems I've forgotten a pair of gloves. What do you need gloves for? Amy indicates a chair on which she's seated. For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all good without them, but I want to be able to get a good workout. You get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters. So are you resting on me then? Do I have to go it alone? You think for a minute, or pretends to think. Makes me think. If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed. So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform, I'd have expected her to wear her gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing here? Amy looks askance at me. Seriously, you can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves? Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh? I guess I can let it slide this time. Now, come on, I'll need your help. I can't imagine what for, but then again, I didn't have a clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Emmy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kind of cute. I hear a little to reach the door first. Opening would be easier for me than for her. The door opens and Amy starts to go inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. It seems the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She thinks a few runs at it unsuccessfully before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object. Stupid wheelchair. Hey Sal, can you give me a hand here? Sure, no problem. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly. Hey, easy there. Whoops, sorry. It's about this time when I failed to notice where I'm going, run Emmy straight into a mat. Oh god. She gets startled up and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze upon her for what I've done, and Emmy glares at me. Hisao? Yes? Promising you never work at a hospital. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand. Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Hisao? Maybe she get like a seatbelt. It's been done to pick up Emmy. She grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. Oh my god, why again? It's been a day. Give it a break. He needs a good. He doesn't need this good of a workout to get before running. Well, at least we've got some privacy now, which is a good thing as my hands work quickly to remove Emmy's blouse and skirt. Is this really the best place to do this, guys? Just gonna close that a bit. I'm sorry to discover that she's forgotten to put her bra on today. Did she plan this? I think she planned this. Her arms hook under mine and rest on my shoulders as I kissed my way down Emmy's neck, pausing to give attention to the spot where the neck meets the shoulder that I found last night. Is that like an erogenous zone? Or is that only for some people? I don't know. You got pretty good at this. This is just weird. Why isn't it? This is fairly adult content, I would say. I do try. It was on my hands, and I draw back with a puzzled expression. I've got a confession with that. Oh? Having pulled back, I decided to instead focus my attention on her breasts. This is weird. Since to speak, her words are interspersed with giggles that I find incredibly cute. I don't actually wear gloves. My eyes rather mumbled onto her chest instead of being just her face. Should have known. I was about to I was gonna say is she trying to get me to fucking the shed? Or it's quickly become irrelevant. Almost frantic, as if she's holding something back since we met this morning, and now she has an outlet. Very nearly caught off guard by her aggressiveness, feeling her nearly rip my shirt off the way she seems to vie to be in the dominant position. For my part, I convinced I'm caught up with her attitudes while fighting back. Rolling, wrestling, even as I caress the press. Yeah, his fingers dig into my shoulders, and I lose track of where we are. So much that I roll right off the mat and land on something smaller and rather hard. Ow! Emmy still flush and breathing with a heavy. Peers at me and bursts into laughter. Just gonna get that Kirby. I'm sorry, you're alright? Yeah, I think so. Not sure where I landed on though. Return back and pull the offending object out, inspecting it closely. Personal lubricant. Lemon flavored. What the fuck is this? What is this? What is this doing here? Emmy, I know you put this here. Wait, what? Emmy's eyes shoot upwards and she begins, if possible, to laugh even harder. Somehow I don't think this isn't track related. It's kind of confusing. Oh man, I know whose that is. What? It's the track captain's. Oh, my old nemesis, or kind of. How'd you know it's his? It appears that I've asked a stupid question, or at least Emmy thinks so. Cause he's the one who told me the track show was a good place for... What did he call them? Clandestine encounters. Oh, he invites you to one? He invite you to one or something? Emmy bursts into more laughter. I confess the sight of naked Emmy laughing is oddly beautiful. I feel an eagerness to end conversation and get back to what we were doing, despite my rather pointed questioning. So, the track captain's gay. Huh. So that's what he meant. Really? And her, I just thought you two were a couple. Well, I didn't have a crush on him. I did have a crush on him when I first joined, but he wasn't interested. Obviously. But we are good friends, I guess. I mean, he told me about all this, you know? I hesitate to ask. I really do, but I ask anyway. What does he need the, lube for anyway? I mean, he doesn't, how does Emmy always manage to not blush? He obviously uses it for, you know,
Gay butt sex, guys. Come on. Come on, Hisao. Get creative. Her face is just so great. That's an amazing face. Anal. I try to suppress a snicker. I fail. Emmy's giggling too. And he tells you about all this? Emmy shrugs. Yeah, of course. He's kind of wild about the whole thing. Says it's a feeling that can't be beat. Huh. The air in the check shed seems in charge of some kind of horrible curiosity. That's interesting. I suppose I have to take his word for it. Well, birds outside stop chirping. The wind dies down. Somewhere a man is drinking a cup of coffee. He freezes with the cup at his lips. We could, maybe, try it. Anal? Wait, try what? Anal? My jaw suddenly spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? And he's finally blushing, rubbing the back of her head ruefully. Well, it's just that we really can't do what we did last night, you know? It wouldn't be safe, you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly a great idea last night. So, you know, we could try this to see if it, is as good? Well, yeah, basically. Oh god, what's going on? Is that a fucking... Oh, that's what they show. That's what they show instead when it comes to, like... That's the disabling adult content. That's great. That's a weird censor. Man, that's a weird censor. I'm gonna just leave this. Wait, no, she's probably still naked. Hold on. Sudden switch from feather to twin causes me to lose my balance. I fall. Ow! Ow! I quickly roll off Emmy and prop myself up. Breathing heavily, trying to ignore the pain in my crotch. Emmy helps a little as she rolls over. She grabs a couple of the tissues and cleans up before getting her pants back on. Awkwardly leans against the wall. Still, we got to try out butt sex. Still breathing heavily, I decided to sit against the wall next to her. The feeling of the cool concrete against my sweating back is a welcome sensation. Ah, yes, perfect. That hurt at the end. Yeah, this is probably not a great idea. Amy screams over, trying to sit down beside me without... Oh, is she okay? Too much pain. Judging by wincing, it doesn't really work. Yeah, I'm going to have words with the captain. He was clearly lying. The utter and absolute ridiculousness of the situation suddenly hits, and I begin laughing. Amy shakes her head and begins laughing with me. Looks like we're gonna have to buy some Candams. Hey, Sal. Yeah? We're never doing this again, right? Yeah, I think my curiosity's satisfied in this one. I mean, not satisfied. From what I've been told from, I think it was YMS, butt sex isn't exactly the most comfortable. It feels like reverse pooping, which isn't a good thought. Good. I think we should maybe stick to the basics, don't you? I mean, most of this is new to me anyway. What do you mean, most? Emmy grins impishly. I'll never tell. She masturbates. An unpleasant thought strikes me. Even more unpleasant is the thought of having to ask Emmy about it. Still, after what we've just done, it should be a cakewalk. Hey, is there a sink? I kind of like to wash off a little. Emmy's jaw drops. In the sink? Well, there's not really anyone else to do it, is there? And I want to avoid a smell that the nurse might notice. It's the most awkward conversation I've ever had. You're right. Yeah, it's on the back wall. There might be some soap too. Thanks. There's in fact a little hand soap, which is better than nothing. No towel though. Guess I'll just have to drip dry. Perfect. All finished? Yeah, that'll do for now. It's not like I'm going to take a shower after we see the nurse. There. Now, help me find my clothes. You tossed them somewhere. Hey, you were no better. How am I supposed to explain the hole in my shirt, Hey, sorry, I got a little excited earlier. Take some time, but we're finally both more or less close. Okay, I can put the left aside. It's a frantic movement where neither of us knows where Emmy's wheelchair is, but I recall it going through the door and rescue it. Now, be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Bums are not my friend right now. I am so sorry we tried this. Emmy shrugs and grins. No, it was worth a shot, right? Anyway, we've good exercise, right? Can't argue that. Making my way up to the nurse office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting comfortably in her seat. God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Sal. Why is that? Because now I'd have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny. Oh. We're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Why does he say a word about Emmy's constant shifting around in her wheelchair? Either he didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. All the same, I'm gonna have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide in my medication for a while. Just to be sure, just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I'm clean of our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I could probably afford a nap. Knock knock. Who's there? Knock knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? I'm suddenly kind of pulled into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Mito. So I was in class, I was explaining sex with my girlfriend and it tired me out. Yeah, that'll go over well. I wonder how long this... I guess I'll have to enter the door. Oh, it's Kenji. It's faintly surprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears Kenji's surprised to see me. What the hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding. Knocked out, I see. I told you to be careful around that Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. Makes sense to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you or something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji uses his flashlight and shines it in my eyes. What the fuck? You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tired morning. I fell asleep. Whatever, man. You want to be in denial about this? I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of those sinister... She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent or anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt she's brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know? We're friends? I had no idea. And again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. He has something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I out my hand to sign the peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. Awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You got money kept in your desk drawer under a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. No, that's important, you fuck. You cunt. I don't need money anyway. Yeah, that's a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure, man, anything. What else was he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's hidden in my room under a false bottom in one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Henry looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to do that for you if you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man, great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I'm gonna have to carry out his final wishes. Shame, I close my door and walk back to my bed. I should go to class, if only catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today, and I did want to read more of that Hawking book. Oh, Stephen Hawking. You let me. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock, knock. This time, the noise jerks my attention away from my book. To me, it's not unlike being woken up. Who's there? Me. Aren't you glad? The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Emmy's. Just gonna do that. Kidding, kidding. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey, nice to see you again. Emmy comes back, staring up at me from her wheelchair. Yeah, you could have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for him to fix it. You think they'd keep it in better order, but no. I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. She wasn't easily, and with my help, she hops onto my bed. Just gonna put that right there. Just gonna leave that, just in case. They're much more comfortable than that stupid chair. Silent contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute we both just stare at one another. It's at that point that I notice the circles under Emmy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. If I can ask about them, Emmy fixes me with a mischievous stare. So I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened? Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me. Why'd you so tired? Strange workout this morning, slightly uncomfortable too. Emmy coughs a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise. Remind me not to do that again. No problem. I'm pretty sure we've reminded each other like 5 times already not to do it. Wasn't anything great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you still sore? Emmy stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question. Of all the questions I never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them. Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. Emmy laughs at this. I guess so, huh? Well, since you asked, yes, I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again. Are we never doing that again? Guys, I think we're never doing that again. No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emmy nods sleepily. Haven't slept well. Not sleeping well. I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start like she's just been caught lying and hastens to add. It's not a big deal, though. What's the trouble? Emmy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stress over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Emmy nods hesitantly. Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by. She begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you'd notice, but of course, but her eyes are on her lap, and she's fidgeting and her voice is quiet. We need to stop hanging out so much. Okay, I guess we're just gonna... Huh? Why? Emmy takes a deep breath like she's been practicing this. Because you're too much fun to be around. I can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise, my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid. I could help you study. She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation. I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? Even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of just want to, not converse. Overwhelmed by my rugged manliness, I understand. That answered me a grin, at least. Emmy shakes her head. Idiot, you're full of yourself. Well, I am pretty irresistible. Or more or less, I guess. So that's the situation, Asao. I have too much fun around you, so if I'm going to go into exams prepared, I need to be alone. Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only been a couple weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school, no problem. After exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate that they're being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased with this proposal. Yeah, sure, that sounds great. And it'll end with a great oh god. As a signal at the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Alright, I might stop in a little bit, because I'm getting a bit tired. I want to take a little nap. It's weird how easily Emmy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easy as we come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess it's not exactly true. We'd both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs, and just our runs, I might add. Lunch, too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We had plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning rounds have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. No matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seemed distracted more often. I caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured it would be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Victor thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. As he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam style. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect for me would be disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. That's not how you say boring. That's not how you spell it. It's for that reason I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas, velocity, a few bits about friction. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated, and off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through, other means. Like 3 days ago at lunch, when Rin wasn't around. Heh. I've done it! I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Gah! Yuko seems horrified at my sudden starting. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I really wasn't, and it's just that. As she stutters, I move quickly to calm her down before she gets into attitude. Whoa, hey! Words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And as a librarian, I shouldn't be easy there. Just calm down. Everything I'm saying by example on how I'll get fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! Shouting seems to work though, and I draw this. There are several other students studying in the library. He snaps his attention like a soldier who just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry. Calm down. It's okay. You just startled me a bit. Well, that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. He takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little. She keeps shifting around with a very nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. It's probably Kenji. I got an honest tip as to their identity. So I distanced mine, and I think the tipster was right. Oh really? And who was the burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her derisively. Nope, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I want him to his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Now I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn him. Why would I care? If you got to ask a question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess? Thanks. What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams? Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I'm meaning to clean up the shelves for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Well, wait. It's not that. I've got my book right here. Here's your point. I hopefully calm Yuko down. I show her the textbook in front of me. Mine just keeps wondering is all. Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? No, it's not noise level either. Noise level either, I promise. I'm just... Hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy? Worried about us? Worried about what happens after we graduate? Emmy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Oh, you know how we're dating now? I just don't know that we're actually, you know, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sorts of things we do. Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her or about what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realize I'm about to start describing. And why he decided to clean up. She what? Or she changed the subject. Wouldn't talk about it. There's a kind of subject for her. Or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's bothering her, she changes the subject too. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. You could digest this bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can just feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. Is that really what's going on? I mean, sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You should take my advice, and you barely know me. You shouldn't take my advice. I'm just a librarian, and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yuko seems desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how absolutely wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all, and the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. If I really need to get closer to her, what I've got right now is pretty good. That's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever's bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after the exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress has passed. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I think you go for advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. Alright, yeah, we're done. Alright, yeah, that'd be a good place to start off. Alright. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting things to get heated this quick. But yeah. I mean, I'm almost romantic, but yeah, so it's pretty cute. But I will say, it was a bit... It's just suddenly, whoa, she's naked. Better get the Kirby out. You know? So yeah, I'll probably be having this Kirby out every time I play this game because who knows what the fuck will happen. But yeah. So far I'm still enjoying it. I'm still wondering like how this game works. Like, if I were to go back and make a certain decision, would it put me down a different path? That is what I've been wondering. Like, if I were to choose to stay quiet instead of offering to run with Emmy in the rain, would I go more towards Rin? That's what I think. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.